What's up, everybody? It's the Don't Be Scared podcast, and I'm your host, Dr. J. This podcast is all about STEM education, all right? And once again, STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math. So if you're interested in any of these subjects, this is your podcast. Now, specifically during this podcast, we're going to be talking about careers, education, and any trends that we see happening in STEM education right now. What are we talking about today, Dr. J? Well, today, we're about to look around the world. We're about to see how America is really doing in STEM right now. Particularly, we're going to be talking about research in today's question. So, the question is, does America still care about STEM research? This is a very, very interesting question. I ask myself this every day. I know that everybody knows every 24 hours you hear, everybody's pushing STEM, everybody's pushing technology. Science is a huge right now. Everybody knows that, the future is here now, and we need to start preparing, the next generation to get ready. But my answer to that is I don't know. I guess I'm not really sure. I'm not positive if America truly cares about STEM research. Now, and when I say care, I'm comparing this on a global look. I'm comparing this to other countries. So let's just see. So right now, I'm curious. Right, I was curious. Well, who's actually who's leading in the world in STEM research right now. So always follow the money. Always follow the money. So we always be hearing, is America even putting money towards research, at all? So I was curious, who spent the most money on R&D? For everybody that doesn't know, okay, R&D, as I refer to that, is just research and development. Okay, research and development. That's all. In particular, we're talking about research and development for science and engineering. Okay, so let's look at number three. Right now, three is the European Union. Okay, so the European Union is killing it, coming in at number three. And once again, if you don't know about the European Union, that guy's like 28 countries. So Jesus, I hope they're killing it. Okay. So yeah, this was at the time. This data was at the time before the UK actually left. Now that's only like 27 countries. United Kingdom is officially out the EU right now. But yeah, so this is with the UK in there. Number two, no surprise, it should be to anybody, China. China has really been killing it. Really, these past couple of decades, they really have come on board and really just started to rise out of nowhere. And then first is USA. Go America. Okay, we still spending the most money on R&D. Okay, still spending the most. Okay, we on top of the world. We on top of the world, Greg. Okay, man, we on top. All right, so now here's just a stat I saw that was very interesting. The total global R&D, as far as like how much money we're spending right now, global wise, everybody. So in 2000, 722 billion. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Okay, and that was in 2000. Now, fast forward to 2017, it's officially 2.2 trillion. Jeez, all for development on R&D, research and development, particular in science, okay, and engineering. Now, when I say as far as who is actually spending this money, is going to be like, so I'm really including, and I'm getting all this data from NSF. Okay, NSF, very valid people, National Science Foundation, and then they get their data from tons of people as well. Um, but anywho, so that's my source. By the way, I know people be source checking. This data is true as of 2017. If the United States of America is number one right now, what exactly is the problem? right? If you're spending all this money on R&D right now, research, it must be good, right? You would think it's good right now. And I would say I agree. Okay, but let's just look at some numbers. Okay, we got to look at the numbers. So here's a chart, everybody. What we have here is basically our time length. So we're looking from 2000 to 2017. And we really just got the top 10 countries right now. So only the top 10 or so countries are going to be in this particular graph. Now we're measuring this in PPP. That's not the paycheck protection whatever thing, right, from the CARES Act. It's not that. I actually was curious about this as far as what the PPP was, as far as what it meant. So it means purchasing power parity, okay? But essentially, it's just a way to compare countries' currencies, okay? That's all it is, okay? So that way we can compare the currencies of all these different nations in a fair type of way, okay? So they use a basket of goods approach, okay? But yeah, so this is in billions. This is in billions. Now, right now, like I said, we know USA number one, and then we look here over this 17-year period. I can see that the United States has definitely grown. Right, in 2000, we were only spending like less than 300 bill, but that increased right to around over 500 right now, over 500. So definitely killing it overall. I would definitely say that the increase is real. Is definitely uh, yeah, it's good. I mean, the fact that the United States is constantly increasing their money towards research and development and science. Okay, so for the people that's claiming that the U.S. isn't spending money, that's not true. Okay, that's definitely not true. They're definitely still spending money out there, and that on good things. Good things. So this is good. Let's look at EU. So we know EU, however, came in third, but let's talk about their journey. So they were spending less than 200 a billion PPP dollars. Okay, and over time they've gradually increased as well. So nothing going wrong here. They probably had the same increase as US overall. Okay, now the thing that really jumps out to me is China. Like, look at where China is. China is officially third. No, second, excuse me. China's officially second. And when I was looking at this data, man, like 2000, they were like what? Less than 100. And then just this rapid increase to where they not only did they jump Germany, and by the way, this chart has other nations from the EU in it. Germany, the EU is probably killing it out of everybody. But yeah, so they jumped over Germany, then they jumped over Japan, right here, probably around 2008. That's when they really 2009. That's when they jumped over Japan. And Japan's been kind of steady. They haven't really improved much, but they kind of got their niche. They don't go outside of that. But yeah, then they just jumped, kept going, and then by 2015, that was ahead of EU. And now, according to 2017, so this is 2017 data. Okay, China's second, and look how close we are. So US is number one right now, but that number one is by a narrow margin. It's not that high as far as the spending. Now, why does this matter? Why is this important? Well, the more you spend on this, you're going to get more of the market. And China has spent a lot of money, especially in this past decade, the teens, on R&D and science. Okay, science and tech in that whole world, and we can see that they're really cashing up. So this is in 2017. The 2021 data is probably even closer. And let's not even talk about the next 20 years. Okay, so even with that being said, it's just okay, Dr. J, what's the big deal? You know, it's still just spending money. It doesn't necessarily mean anything. Okay. US is still number one. Okay, true. This is very true. But however, I just get nervous in the next 20 years how that's going to look. The US is constantly increasing, and we can see it gradually has increased over 17 years. China has rapidly increased in 17 years. Not even 17 years. They rapidly increased the last decade, and they just went off. Okay. And China isn't slowing down, okay, at all. US, I don't know. Are we slowing down? I don't know. Maybe that's the push. Maybe that's the reason why there's so much push towards STEM. Now, let's talk about, though, on a worldwide scale, right? How much has been spent. And right now, if we're looking at our data right at this pie chart, we can see that China is 32% right now. Okay, so they're 32%. Now, what we're looking at, everybody, is basically the market share. So this is just overall how much has been spent over the past 17 years. And we can see China has officially overtaken United States. So in you are what you spend. China, I don't know what happened this past decade, but they said, hey, we're about to take over. And they spent a lot of money on this. So much so that they officially have overtaken the market. Like I said, that stat was crazy. That wasn't in 2000, it was below Germany, not even coming close to the United States. Now they have a huge part of the market. Okay, so so is this a big deal? Yeah, and this is probably why the push towards STEM right now. Okay, we need people going off right now. Okay, we need a lot of more innovative people, just more people in general, and then not necessarily spending more money, but just like more output. And so we still winning. At the end of the day, we're still winning. But what's the problem? All right, this guy's happy. He's super happy. But the problem, let's talk about the problem, everybody. The problem is, so right now, the United States is kind of in a dire situation. I truly believe this in the 20s. You kind of hear this, but I don't want to say this, but I feel like the US can be left behind if we don't figure something out. Like I said, China growth is being rapid and it's not stopping. Okay. And what they're putting their money in, they're putting it in high intensive research and development sectors. Okay. They're not slowing down. Only more and more people are going, and China's going super hard. Okay. So the United States, we definitely want to think about what we're going to do within the next 20 years, because we are in a situation to where China could be the next superpower in overtaking. I don't want to say that, but it's just the truth right now. I live in America, so I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy to say it out loud, but there's a whole lot of things that's an impact of that, of our society and how things are going about in these past couple of decades. But yeah, I would definitely say everybody pay attention. And the push for STEM is for a reason, okay? Because this goes back to many times in history where the U.S. always try to compete with another nation. We go back to the '60s or the '70s and all that whole jazz with the whole space. First one to move to the moon, right? That whole thing. And now we are in a STEM war right now. Okay, and right now the United States have been winning for a very long time. I must say that. The reins have been on there, and they have not uh, let go. But in the past decade, the U.S. is no longer dominating this field, this sector. Okay, so question again, the day, right? Does America still care about STEM research? Yes. Yes, they do. But do they care as much? I'm not sure. But I do know one nation that does care a lot, and that's China. Okay. So that's the end of today's episode. Feel free to go to NSL to check out that data. I will catch you guys next time on Don't Be Scared the podcast. Now, once again, you want to make sure that you hit that subscribe button and follow us for the latest episodes on our podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to leave a review as well as comment below what you want to hear us talk about next. At the end of the day, everybody, we're just here to help. We want to spread our vision of increasing STEM participation from underrepresented communities